In this space, you need to look out for yourselves. Most projects are here for a good time and not a long time. Take profits accordingly. As long as the outcome is income, you can never lose. So many people come to my channel and say, Rodney, I was up $5,000, $10,000, $100,000, $300,000, but I held at the all-time high because I was being sold a dream and that dream never panned out. Now, some will argue and say, well, you have to hold through these tough times. Not all investments you make are going to end up going to the moon. It's just not going to happen. In a space like cryptocurrency that is really new, and you can tell that the US government's really trying to see what we're trying to do with regulations. A lot of products are going to pop up. They're going to have their, 10 minutes of fame and they're going to go away forever. That's just the reality of this space. So when you're up a significant amount, take your profits. The sad thing is so many people are chasing what Shiba Inu, Dogecoin, and many other small cap community tokens once did. And every other project that pops up in the space is trying to replicate that same success. And the fact is, most won't. Right? Most won't. So when you're up, take your profits. Saitama was one of those projects. Now, I'm not saying they can't do something great in the future because they may, but Saita Pro, and I'm telling you, being a person that's in DeFi is nothing special in its current form. Now, recently, Saitama Guru, the COO of Saitama, had an AMA on Jake Gagan's channel. Now, a lot of people expected Jake to really just come at Russ like crazy. I didn't expect that on this AMA, but what I did expect is for Russ and Saitama, the team, to take more personal accountability for the shortcomings of Saitama. But they really didn't, and this ended up being the same old story with Saitama. Now, Russ did lose a lot of weight, which I think is a good thing because he was getting a little chunky, grinding with Saitama and those sorts of things. And I actually can relate because I gained quite a bit of weight covering Saitama and just like no-lifing it on YouTube all day, every day. And I recently lost a ton of weight. But, good for him in that sense. People are, accusing him of all these kind of crazy things. That's ridiculous. We're going to focus on the substance here. And the substance is some of the points that he made, which I don't agree with. If you just step away and look at Saitama objectively, when they had their inception, they tried to be something similar to Shiba Inu. I mean, they even got one of the main influencers, Steve at Rocket Crypto, to leave Shiba Inu, come to Saitama so they can go ahead and have that same success. And boy, they did. They had a $7 billion market cap, which is absolutely insane for a project that had no real anything on the market until about a month ago. Saita Pro, right? I don't count Saita Mask because Saita Mask never really worked. Saita Pro just hit the market about a month ago, right? You have to understand that. Saitama hit a $7 billion market cap without ever having any product on the market, which is absolutely insane, is definitely commendable because a lot of people made money and a lot of people did take profits, including myself. I'm not going to make this video hating on Saitama, dunking on Saitama, but I want to point out some things because Russ made some points and I think they're absolutely ridiculous. These are the reasons why I criticize this project, and many have before and after me. Okay, so he talks about how people don't really understand how hard it is to launch a technology like SaitaMask. Because yes, although Saitama wanted to be something like Shiba Inu just has a swap. They have many other things, but they just have a swap. SaitaMask was always an app, right? They wanted their own like kind of exchange that uses Saitama as the native token to swap with, which is kind of a big deal. Now, I understand that software and hardware like that take a while to launch. That's what it does. It takes a long time to launch. And honestly, I didn't think that Max could handle it. Like, he's one man, and that's a big deal. That's a tall task to get done with just one guy. And although they claim to have multiple people working for them, the evidence is the app never really came to market on time, is that they never really had that team. Now they do, and Max, left the team. We're not upset that the project and the product took forever to get to market. We're mad because you always set these dates when it was supposed to launch and it never came out. You guys did that. He talked about how, we rented out the MGM Grand on November 13th to launch SaitaMask. That's what he said. Okay, he said that. He said that it takes months of preparation in order to reserve something. You have to reserve the MGM Grand months in advance. So they couldn't really change the launch party, right? But if you're dealing with a company like Certic and they're supposed to do your audit, wouldn't you get that audit done months in advance as well? Or why would you wait for 2 to 3 weeks before the launch of your app to get the Certic audit done? That doesn't make any sense. That's poor planning. Saitama, Russ, if you're listening to this, no one is mad that the product took forever to launch. You just kept saying it was going to be launched on a certain day, and it never happened. Over-promising and under-delivering. Okay, the next point he talked about is selling tokens. Look, I understand that CEOs have to sell shares in a company to get things done. Elon Musk does it all the time. I understand that. It takes money to make money. With a business like Saitama, you have to pay for influencers, technology, all that good stuff. You have to pay for it. Saitama paid for influencers like fighters, Eagle FC, at sponsorships. They're paying for things. I know it takes money to do that. The issue is you lied about it. You lied. There's so many videos, now put one in the description up here, where you said you haven't sold a single token because you don't want to hurt the charts. Why lie then? The issue is not you selling. The issue is you saying that we're paying for everything out of pocket and then saying later, oh, no, we've sold tokens, because, we have to pay for things. And this is why we have a new contract, because we want to have a marketing wallet. Now, understand, before renounced contracts, they were popular. Keep that in mind. Renounced contracts were popular. Saitama launched with a contract that was renounced. That means you couldn't make any changes to the contract, which back then in the shitcoin era, that was a good thing because the developers couldn't change the buy and sell taxes. But as time went on, some of these developers understood that you had to make changes in the contract. And so you shouldn't renounce your contract. You shouldn't. Because if it's a trusted team, you have to trust that the dev team's not going to do anything malicious, right? That's the point of all this, right? If you don't renounce your contract, you have to trust the dev team that they won't do anything crazy down the road. So many projects like Saitama had to launch a new contract because they needed to make changes to their contract. And in Saitama's case, they wanted a marketing wallet, they wanted a lower supply, and they wanted to be able to get on big time cryptocurrency exchanges. At first, right, in December, November, they owned the fact that they had no marketing wallet. They owned it. They owned the fact that their contract was renounced. In fact, they even gave Shibnobi the fucking boot because their contract wasn't renounced. Remember all that? But now they changed it, saying, oh, no, we eventually wanted to get it. We wanted to launch a new contract, but we had to wait for our liquidity to unlock because it was just a fad. This is what happened. This team made a shitcoin. And for some reason, right, the perfect storm with influencers, hype, cryptocurrency pumping, everything worked out. This thing went to the moon. Right? It was an anomaly and they didn't fucking know what to do about it. So they started promising these things. They're making life-changing money, which is kudos to you guys. You did it. Your family is probably set for life, but they didn't know what they were doing. And all along the way, investors got hurt while they tested things, trial and error. And maybe now they finally got things right. They did not expect this kind of success because if they did, they would have been better prepared. Understand that. So it's not that you were selling tokens. We understand that it takes money to make money. You just lied to us about it. And lastly, he talks about how the market is down and everyone wants to shit on Saitama. Russ, the last month, Ethereum has been moving. The same cannot be said for Saitama. And it's not because, whatever FUD or whatever you want to say. It's because his business is poorly ran and it's obvious to everyone who's not stuck in a fucking echo chamber, right? Understand that. And the app is just nothing special right now. It isn't. Look, if you're coming into a market that already has existing things that are the same, right? Apps and stuff like that, swaps and those sorts of things, you have to be 10 times better than the rest. And saying we have site education and Sata College and, the NFT platforms, that's not unique. Staking, that's not, everyone and their mom does staking. A shitcoin launched last week, they did staking on the second day. It's not new technology. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. I wanted to make this video to kind of clear the air. It's not because of all those things that's happened. It's because this project has been poorly ran from the beginning. But hey, who knows? Starting from today, starting from this AMA, maybe going forward, they can take personal responsibility for their shortcomings. And then maybe Saitama can actually be a good product so people that lost so much money can actually make their money back. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.